Hello and welcome to Lightning Component Development Session Day 13. This is Amit, and today we will learn some predefined events that are already here and present in a Lightning component. First one is ForceCreateRecord, that is responsible for showing a pop-up as a quick action or as a modal for creating the complete record. Whatever the object we wanted, we can use that as an entity API name, and then we can show a modal for creating a particular record for any particular object. And we can also put the default values using the default predefined values. Let's say that for example record type ID or any master record, lookup master detail relationship field, we can put that. And then viewRecord is for displaying the particular detail page of any particular record with the help of record ID. editRecord is irrespective for creating. It is for editing the record. We need to identify the record ID for which record we wanted to edit, we wanted to display the modal. And then we'll also see a new feature, that is Lightning DualListBox, to create the dual list in a different work scenarios. And then for the lab work, we have 3 works to do for today. One is we will be creating a card order detail page component, where we will be displaying all the detail of the component, detail of the placed order by the user. And then we will modify the controller of create order component to navigate this newly created component, and then we will display the information with the help of Lightning standard controller that we learned on the previous session. So let's start from the CreateRecord. This is the standard event. We don't need to do much in that. This is just a simple syntax with the default values. Here what we are doing, we are just first we are getting the standard event using E as an event, and then force the namespace, and then the CreateRecord is the name of the event that we wanted to execute. And the same method for setting the parameters, either the default values or the entity API name, the name of the S object that we wanted to create. So here if you can see that for the default field values, we are setting the phone as a 10-digit phone number, and then account ID, the related account under which we wanted to create the contact. And then using the same logic, we are just using the fire method for executing the record. So let's go ahead and create a new component for this, and we'll see how it works. So here on the developer console, create a Lightning component, and we'll see, name it as ForceCreateRecord create record page and Lightning page, as we are going to use this component inside the detail page of account record, so that we can associate the created contact under any account under which we are creating. So what we'll do, we'll just put the button Lightning button, variant as a brand, label will be quick contact, and then value will be same. On click, we will call a method that will be named as CreateContact. So before we go ahead implement the logic behind the CreateContact method, I'd like to introduce a new method, a new interface. There are 2 new interfaces that we are going to see here. We are going to implement both of them. First one is to use the component as a quick action. We can use Lightning force. Okay, leave it. We will learn about those interfaces on our next session. So here what we are going to do, we are just going to implement our logic inside this CreateContact function of JavaScript method. So let's go ahead and just put that CreateRecord equal to $a the utility class, and then get is an event force as a namespace, and then CreateRecord the event. Same thing, we are going to set the parameters. First, on the first attempt, we will see we just wanted to create the contact record, that's it, without any default values. And then we will be executing this event. Now let's go ahead, open the account detail page. So what we will be doing, we'll just going to the accounts tab, and in the tab we will be editing the page, the same process that we are following from all the tutorials. Just open this account, click on edit page, and here we will be adding that component inside the detail page. And on the upcoming tutorials we'll also see how we can use the component as a tab or the component as a quick action. Delete that one. Here ForceCreateRecord create, save it, click on back. Now you can see we are able to see the quick contact. If you click on this button, we should be able to see a pop-up saying that new contact, and there is no default value. We are not setting any default values here. Now if you wanted to set the default value, let's say that if you wanted to set the default value, the account with the related whatever the account ID is here on the URL, we can just go ahead on the Lightning component library where we can get the information, all information about the event. We are just going to use this, just going to copy this default field values from here and then paste it here. We are not going to use phone as of now, and for the account ID, as we are implementing the interface force:has record ID, we'll just use v.record ID. And now let's see, go back to the component, refresh this, and if you click on this one, now we should be able to see the default account that is already pre-populated with the name of the account under which we are clicking on the button quick contact. Let's say that if you wanted to default any field like email or reports to, that is current user, no, it's a contacts, it's a contact itself, no, we don't need to use that. Yep, we can use phone or email. So let's go ahead and default one more field, that is name as email, and I will be renaming it with my email ID. Go back to the page and refresh it. Now we will see that the email field is already auto populated with the field that we are providing by default with the help of the parameters of the event. You can see the email ID is auto populated here. So we can do this things. This is just simple for creating the we can say that force:create_contact, CreateRecord. This is just for an example. We can just click on save, and now if you save this, it will open the created contact, whatever the contact we have created, because this is this particular event is using the default action, whatever the default behavior for the Salesforce is creating for a new record. If you are creating, we are navigating to the detail page of that record. This is why we are being redirected to the newly created contact. Now on the same page, on the same component, what we will do, we will use force colon viewRecord. Now if you'll see force colon viewRecord, there is a attribute that is named as record ID. We can just provide with the help of whatever the record ID we are being provided. What the error we are getting is because of it is record view instead of view record. So now if you'll go back to the contact, I will refresh the page, we will be able to see the detail page of this particular account below the quick contact button. So let's go ahead and refresh the page and see if we are able to get the information of this particular account or not. You can see that we are able to get the information for a particular account with the exact same layout, whatever the layout is, as the layout is 2-column layout, and the same layout we are getting here, the links, whatever the created by. So all we are able to, if you wanted to get this particular record, if you wanted to display the information of a any particular record, we can just use force colon record view. But the only thing with the record view and for lightning colon record form, the main difference, that is, if we are using the lightning colon record form, that is the mode as a view, we can also inline edit the fields, as we are able to inline edit here on the detail page with the help of lightning record form. Let me also display the lightning colon record form. Now let me refresh this. Okay, I think on the lightning colon record form we need to specify view mode. Let me actually, I'm not sure what all attributes or parameters are required. So let's go to the component, open lightning colon record form, and then here we will get, we need to also put object API name, layout, and mode. So here mode view, object API name equal to account, and then layout equal to, let's say it full. Okay, no, this is not. This is lightning is case sensitive. We need to provide the same name as whatever it takes as a parameter. So now let's go ahead, refresh this page, and we'll see the difference between this record form and force colon record view. You can oops, are we able to see? Nope. What? Mode view, record ID, layout type. I think layout type is this. This is why we are not able to see the record. Now let's refresh. You can see that we are able to inline edit each and every field that are editable fields. Why we are seeing this in a single column, we can provide the columns here as an attribute, and we can also provide the arbitrary number of columns that we wanted to choose. If you wanted to choose 2, 3, 4, anything, if you wanted to choose, we can just go ahead and choose this. So the main difference is that we can also edit the record, and if you'll edit and we'll save, then it will also refresh the value as well as, and the same that here we do for the standard record detail page. We also do the same. You can see that we change the column to 3. We are able to change the 3. If you click on this, you will see the editable mode of the layout on the same whatever the number of columns we have decided here. So this is the basic and main difference between these two. So if you wanted to use to display the information of a particular record, lightning column record form, I'd like to recommend you to use lightning column record form. And now for the next one is ForceCreateRecord. ForceCreateRecord is for editing a particular record. So the same thing what we'll do, we'll just create a new button that will be responsible for editing the account detail page, editing the account record, whatever the account we are viewing. We will say that edit account, and here it will create a new method. Let's copy paste the same. Here it takes only one parameter, that is record ID. We just need to provide the record ID here, that we will get with the help of component.get without record ID, that we always do. What happens? editRecord dot set params, line number 14 we are getting errors. Okay, because of this. Now if you'll go back, refresh the component, we will see only 2 buttons because we commented out the code related with ForceCreateRecord view and record form. So if you click on edit account, it will open up the complete template of the standard edit page, whatever we wanted. And now if I click on save, it will just refresh this particular account. Let me change the value for the rating field as a hot and save it. Now what it will do, it will just refresh the rating as a hot. So ForceCreateRecord and ForceEditRecord are just the 2 new events as an lightning record form that we can use instead of a lightning on record form for creating or editing a particular record. And then the difference between ForceCreateRecord view and record form is that record view doesn't provide any inline editing option next to these fields, and then the layout of ForceCreateRecord view is also dependent on the standard page layout that we are using. And then in case of lightning record form, there are possibilities that we can provide the number of columns, the number of fields that we wanted to show in each row. Then we can provide the layout type, whatever the layout we wanted to display, either the compact or the full layout. And then we can also edit the field inline with the help of inline editing, and there are also options for disabling disabling the inline edit with the mode of read only, and with the mode of edit if you wanted to show the record by default in edit mode. So these were the 3-4 things that we had in our agenda today. And next thing is that lightning column dual list. So lightning column dual list is basically used for creating the multi-pick list, that we can create the multi-pick list with the help of lightning colon dual list, a new feature that is a DualListBox. So we will be checking this. Let me copy this complete code here. Okay, so here we are just creating an attribute of list type that has default values, label as an English, value in German, Spanish, French, Italian, Japanese. So these are all the options, because dual list values, it is as like as select list, as like as select option in a VF page, because every select option and select option has two things. One is label and the other one is value. This is why we are creating the attribute with the two things, that is a label as and a value here, and that is a type of list. So one, it contains label, and then the second thing that it requires, that is value. So here these are the different parameters that are required. First one is the name, this it's an optional, and the aura ID is also an optional for each lightning base tag or a UI tag or force tag. And then the label is the required that we have to provide, that we can say that select languages or anything. Source label is available, and then the selected label is selected. That means these are the left hand, and the label that we'll see on the left hand, and then the label that we'll see on the right hand. Then the field label help, that if you wanted, this is a dual list box, or you can say that please select the language that are suitable according to you, whatever. And then options that will be available for the user to select. And then this is the method that executes every time we are selecting the option, either we are from available to selected or from selected to available. This method will be executed every time. And then to get the selected values, we just need to put a one line code, that is event.getParameter. Oops, I think I forgot to copy the complete code. Event.getParameter.values. Here we just need to put the value. Okay, this one is to get the selected value for the event get param, and then value, whatever the value, all values that are selected, that are available, that are here, will be presented on the select section, will display as alert here. So let me go ahead, and then after that we will see, we will manipulate more options on the lightning dual list. Okay, I think we didn't save the component. Let's go ahead and save this. Now refresh the page. Here you can see that we are able to see the multi-pick list here. Now if you'll select, let's say that English and German, click on the arrow, you will see that en, de. Why we are seeing en, de? Because in the attribute we have provided value as an English. We are not providing the label as an English. If you will provide the label, you will see the alert on there. Now let's remove this one. You will see that selected values English only. So now next what we'll see, let's say that if you wanted to default some values for this particular dual list, so there is an option that is called as value, and that is an attribute. We can just provide the list here, list of values only, whatever the value we wanted to. So that list, let me say that en and it, just Italian for English and it for English en, and then it for Italian. Let me go back to the refresh the page and see if you are able to see the selected value that are already selected by default that we provided, or we are not able to, or we are getting any error. Okay, so we are getting the error because here it takes the parameters as an a list. So what we'll do, we'll create another attribute that we will say that we'll name it as selected value. Type will be list. IT en, and here we will use this instead of this. We'll use v dot selected value, whatever the attributes that we are providing here as a default. Okay, why we are getting the error? We didn't close this. Now let me go back, refresh the page. You can see that we are able to see the by default values here, English and Italian. Now there comes another case that if you wanted to require some values, if you wanted to say that French is required for all the users whoever are accessing this particular pick list, we also have an attribute that is called as required. And then for the required, let's say that we will create another attribute that will say that required, and here we will say that English only, English is required. So let's also say German is also required here along with the English, and we'll save it, refresh the page, and we will be able to see a log sign next to those fields, next to those values. Why we are not able to see? Let me refresh it again. Here in the attribute is not required, it's required options that are required. So now let's go ahead, refresh the page, and we will see the log sign next to each value that we have provided for the required. You can see German is required. If you select and remove, you will not be able to remove this. You will see that German, English and Italian. These are the basic use cases for English. We can also bind these values behind the scene, and that means when we say that behind the scene, that means we can bind this value from the controller as well. Let me show you how we can bind this value. So we are going to create an handler that will execute on the initialization of the component that we know that is init. Value will be this, and then action will be do init. Why this is okay? It's handler. So now what will be inside do init? We will set the default value for the options pick list. Okay, so here we have the attribute. We will put this value, we will copy and paste these values over there. We are going to just remove this, come back here, just create an attribute that will be options equal to, I think this would work, yep, and then component dot set, and on that attribute we are going to set the value. That attribute name is options as well. So here we are going to set the value, and let's go back to the component, refresh the page, and see if you are able to see the same output that we are saying. Yes, we are able to see. So this is how we can use the dual list with the help of some default values, required options, and the selected value, how we can get the selected options that are selected for a particular dual list, and then how we can set the value from the controller. So now we have the lab work. First we are going to create the order detail component that will be responsible for showing the order detail. So let's go ahead and work on the same. So remove this, new lightning component, and we will name it as order detail. Just if as we are going to redirect to this component from create beer order controller, we must need to implement the interface that is lightning colon is URL addressable, and then on the initialization of the component, what we will do, we will get the record ID from the URL, and then we will reload the record with the help of lightning standard controller, and then we will display the record whatever we wanted to display the information about the order. So here we'll on the controller we will get, first step is to get the page reference with the help of component.get, that is v.page reference, and then check if we are getting something with the help of page reference. We'll just check if page reference, and then we'll get the state, and from the state we will get the ID. So we will just set dot order ID, and we'll say that state dot order ID, and here what we'll do, component dot find, as we saw in the lightning standard controller, this is the aura ID of the ForceCreateRecord data. So first we are going to create an attribute with the name aura ID, order ID in type of string, and then we are going to create the attribute. One will be record, we can say that, yep, let's say that order record, and type will be object because we are going to use the generic, and then we are going to create another attribute that will be order record for target field. This will be also of same type, that is an object, and that we are going to another attribute for storing the error, if you are getting any error or not. So we'll say that target error, and type will be string. And then we will use ForceCreateRecord data with the aura ID that we used in JavaScript controller, that is record viewer, and then here we will use record ID, that is v dot order ID, then we will use target record, that is v.record, and then we will use target fields, that is v.this, then we will use we are going to use layout, that is full, and then we are going to use target error, that is v dot target error, and then we are going to close it. Okay, here it is layout type instead of layout. So now what we'll do, we'll just display the record information, the order details. So for just validating that we are getting the order details or not, we are just going to display only order record dot name, that is v dot target field dot the name, the API name of the field. Now what the next step is? Next step is to redirect to this particular component after successful creation of the order. So first we are going to get this particular code that we are going to use here after showing the message. So let's do this, and here the object name, the component name is order detail. We are not going to pass two parameters, we are passing only one parameter, that is order ID, and from where we'll get order ID, we'll get from the save result dot record ID. So here we'll say that save result dot record ID, and before we use this navigation concept, what we need to use, we need to use lightning navigation inside our component, that is CreateRecord. So let's go ahead, the component of this beer detail, use lightning navigation from here, and then go to CreateRecord component, paste it here. Now if you go back to the CreateRecord, we can see that we are just using the toast and displaying the record ID, and then after the toast we are navigating to the order detail component. So for the safe side, let me cross verify the name of the component that we created. Yes, it is the same. Now go back to beer explorer, open any beer, order now. Let's say that 120 123 Main Street City, whatever you wanted to give, you can just give same as this. Now if you click on, you can see we are able to get the ID, and okay, layout type is not supported or invalid full. So what we need to do, we need to check a component, that is, what was the name of the component? Okay, it's order detail. So I think we need to provide the layout type as full. Let's go ahead and refresh this page and see if you are able to get or not, and otherwise we'll check the lightning component library. Yep, we are able to see. You can see the order number, whatever the order number is related with that order. So now what we are going to do, we are going to use here a bit SLDS, a bit SLDS, so that we can change the look and feel. So first go to the lightning design system, and here we will just going to use header, and that will be page header. Yep, copy this, paste here. It will be the page header for displaying. Remove this, it doesn't work here. We can show order number here, v dot order record dot name, and then we can also show, we can display v dot order record dot create date. For the title, just show the order number here. Order number as well. This is just for the information. Here on the icon, we are not going to use this. We are going to use lightning icon, a new tag. Lightning icon is used for displaying the icons. The icons as per our need that we wanted to display. That may be the standard or that may be custom. So what we are going to use, we are just going to use a custom icon. So, and here inside icon we can also define what is the size of icon. So we are going to use large size. There are 3 types of size: small, medium and large. So we are going to use large size. And for the beer, we just need to go to the SLDS, go to icons, and then inside icons we are going to select which icon we need to. So we are going to use any custom object. Let's say that custom 4 as of now. Later on we will change this. So as we are going to use custom icon, and the name of icon is custom 4. This is what are the type of icon we are using, and then this is the name of the icon. So now let's go ahead, refresh the page. Now we'll be able to see some better look and feel with the title, subtitle. You can see order number, this order number, and then the created date. If you wanted to format this date, as you can see that it's 12th of November 2018, and then 18/12. So you can just go to here lightning formatted date time, because created date data type is date time. So you can just go ahead here. Nope, this one is not. You can just let's try with this, if you are able to. Refresh this and see if you are able to see some magical numbers here on the headers. Yep, you can see November 12th 2018. So we are going to remove this, and then for this, let's say that year 2 digit, like this, if you wanted to see this. So we'll just use the same thing here, so that we can see, we can display, we can know when the order has been actually placed. Yep, this is, you can see that Monday on November 12 2018. So this is how we can, I think we can also change these values. If we go on the specification tab, we will know more about all this here, whatever 2-digit numeric, 2-digit short, long, whatever we wanted to display here. You can go with the lightning component library to know more about that. So now here on the below tag, we can use grid because we wanted to display the information on 2 column or 3 columns. So here we are going to use only 2 column grid. So we are just going to use grid from the SLDS, and then scroll down. Here you can see that this is the 3 column grid, but we are going to use size 1 of 2 and then 1 of 2. That will be of 2 size. So paste the code here. First change the grid, it will be 1 and then it will be 2. Now here we need to show the information about the order quantity, order amount. So for the fields section, let's go back to the setup. Object manager, then beer order. First we'll display order quantity, and then what is the order amount. We will save it. We'll go back, refresh the page, and see if you are able to. Yes, we are able to get, but here we are not able to get either it is on rupee or on dollars. This is the only thing that we are able to get as a number. So what we'll do for this, we are going to use, if you go back here, lightning column formatted, you will see that formatted number for the currency. We are going to use here currency formatting, and then you can just use this. What is the number? 1 2 3 4. We are going to use third one. You can see the 60,000 US dollars. To change the look and feel, and to also see the labels for these, like these are the order quantity or these are the total amount, either we can use lightning input with the read only fields, or we can use and the labels over here, like putting the labels. Or instead of doing all these things, what we can do, that we already have the order ID, we can use lightning record form here for displaying the information. But as we are going to expose this component to the public, we cannot use a lightning column record form because it displays all the information. Like, let me show you. If I use this lightning information here, so let me open this, the base component that we created today, so that we can use the code in a very easy way. So for the ID, we have beer ID. We can go ahead and use this. For the object, this is beer object that we can use. We can get the API name from the detail section. Component is full. layout type is full, columns let's see 3, and then it is a read only, because as of now we are not giving the capability to user to edit their orders. Going forward we are going to give that functionality as well. So here you can see we are able to get all the information here. It is saying that created by whoever the user is created, last modified by, billing postal code, whatever the layout is. So it is also looking good that we can modify the layout. We can remove we can use compact layout instead of full, and then we can use only those fields that we wanted to display to the users. So now the only thing that we can do is to change the background color of this page to make the look and feel better. I think SLD's form, yep, this is, we can change background color. Yep, that we use for creating the orders. So we can go back, click on the styles, and then as we wanted to use this background color as a default, if it doesn't apply, just make it as a important. So now if you'll go back to this, we are able to see the background color of all these particular page that we already had. Now we can freely go ahead and remove this part as we don't need this. And one more thing that we need to do, we need to provide some specific spacing from this header section to this. So let's go ahead to the SLDS, find the padding, and inside padding we just need to use from the top. So let's copy the class from here and then use this. Now if you'll go back, refresh the page, order detail page, yep, you are able to see the spacing, but because of the complete background, yep, I think we need to give the spacing from the left as well. So here we can, instead of this, we can just use from the around. And from the, for the CSS, we just we don't want to override this CSS. So let's go back to C and see SLD form. This is the class. So we need to override only background color for this class. So we are going to use that class over here. Now let's refresh the page and see what we can see here. Yes, now it's looking better. So this was all about for today's session. Hope you have learned something new from this session. I'll see you on the next session. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching the video.